Wonder Woman 1984 finally hit theaters and HBO Max here in the US, but was it the Christmas present we all deserved? Find out as we review Wonder Woman 1984 on this episode of Blerd Up Reacts.
What's up, Blerd Squad? We're back with another episode of Blerd Up Reviews, where we talk about the latest and greatest in movies, TV, and gaming. We're your host. I'm Killer Cam.
And I'm Monique.
And today we are going to be reviewing Wonder Woman 1984. Now, there was a big hoopla about this movie, mainly because it's was slated to come out forever long ago. But of course, COVID hit, changed the idea of how we start watching movies, and Warner Brothers decided to release it same day in the theaters as it did on HBO Max, which I was all for. So thank you, Warner Brothers. I had an opportunity to watch it on Christmas Day. I know you had an opportunity to watch it on Christmas Day. And I'm kind of excited just to kind of jump into this review because I know I've got a lot of thoughts, and I'm pretty sure if I have a lot of thoughts, you have a lot of thoughts. So,
yes, I do. Thank you for asking.
Well, before we jump into it, of course, thank you to everyone who's been liking and subscribing to our channel. Of course, it does help us grow. And we're really kind of at the cusp of hitting our next milestone of 1,000 subscribers. We know we can't do it without you, so we just want to say thank you for taking time out of your day to listen to us ramble about these movies. If you are new to our channel, though, and you are digging the content, please make sure you do hit that like and subscribe button. That way you can stay up to date with all of the content that we do release. Also, don't hesitate to drop down in the comments. We do read them and we do respond to them.
Yeah.
All right, so Wonder Woman 1984. Mom, I'm gonna let you kick this off here because I feel like you're itching.
Go first. No, you're fine. Go ahead.
I feel like you're itching. Go ahead and go for it.
No. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, so here's the deal. I'm actually going to, with this movie, I kind of went into it with a different perspective than probably everybody else did. Because this movie had been delayed for so long, I feel like there was a lot of hype around it. Also, it was kind of like the sacrificial lamb to kick off this streaming theater release at the same time. So I knew going into it, people were going to have some pretty strong expectations. I myself did not have those expectations because I just like to watch a movie and take it for what it is. At the end of the day, I didn't mind this movie that much. I thought there was some errors that they made that I'll go into a little bit later, but overall, I didn't mind this movie at all. I know you feel differently.
I'm not going to say I disliked it. At first, when I got done, I'm sorry. I was going to say at first when I got done watching it, and that actually reminded me how long this movie really was and how many times I just stopped it to be like, how much longer does this movie have left? Like, I felt at times that I was doing that. I felt like it was too long. I'm not going to say I disliked it, but I didn't like it. I feel basically the same about it as I felt with the first Wonder Woman. Which everybody I know was praising it at the time and, saying it was one of the best DC movies, that they put out so far, which, yeah, I kind of agree with that, but I didn't think it was all that. And I'm feeling the same way with Wonder Woman 1984. It wasn't all that.
Yeah. Here's the problem that I really wish DC would get a handle on. They need to let the filmmakers and the writers do their thing. Please stop interfering in their creative process, because even with part one, coming to find out that Patty Jenkins, had to adjust the ending of Wonder Woman part one, that irritated me because that was the part I didn't like. That was the part that tanked the movie for me. Even with this one, there was some errors with storytelling. Like, it was 2.5 hours long. It could have been 2 hours long. And I could have got the same thing that I was expecting from it. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's things that I really, really liked about this movie, but there are some things about this movie where I was like, come on, man. Come on. I guess what we should start with the positives, though. What do you think?
Yeah, we can do that.
I'll start with the positives. I felt like the movie was off to a solid start. You had mentioned that it was kind of, because you did watch it before I did, you kind of mentioned it was like happy go lucky at the beginning. I appreciated that because it did remind me of the 1980s Christopher Reeve Superman movies. I was like, oh, okay. And I'm like, I wonder, are they doing this on purpose? I think they did do that on purpose. I think they started this movie out with kind of mirroring Christopher Reeve's Superman's, how do I want to say it?
His style, that
His
the style
style.
of that movie basically, and I can totally agree with that. Very first, actually there were parts throughout this who that reminded me of, the Christopher Reeve Supermans, especially part four.
Uh huh.
um but yeah, I mean, that's something I did sort of kind of enjoy at the very beginning. I felt like it was I don't know.
You're gonna say the same thing I'm gonna say. I already know it because
It was bumbling, yeah, criminals, yeah, Christopher Reeve style, but it was done like it was done back in the 1980s. Like they couldn't
yeah.
update it just a little bit. Like this is 2020, like
Well,
y'all.
I like that part. I like that part. The part that had me gagging was like, it's that many criminals, like this much shit happening at the.
That's true. That's true. She was just coasting along, and as she was going through the streets, there was a crime to be, stopped.
like
So
the little girl stealing. I was like, really? like the knock anyway. So that was the part I was taking a little bit because it was just like all this crime is happening in this like 10-minute period. Okay, I'm gonna let it go though. I'm gonna let it go. But again, there was parts where she was interacting with the citizens and the little black girl who was just like, I thought that was
yeah.
really cute. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, it did remind me of the Christopher Reeve Supermans, and I love those movies. So even four, like I know people hate four, three and four pretty much. I like them. I mean,
Yeah.
shoot. But yeah. Another thing that I liked about this movie though was immediately, I don't know if it's just because I'm an 80s baby or what, but the costumes throughout
hmm
this movie, just the 80s style costumes, oh man,
Yeah.
it made me like wish that I was back in the 80s again, like as a grown up, so I can just be like, oh yeah, pop, lock, and break dancing.
Now, don't sleep on Gal though. Diana Prince was dressed down to the nine. She
Hmm.
had them shoulder pads. Like she that was cute. Like
Hmm.
not for nothing. Like the clothes and everything that was cute and commensurate with the 80s style. So
Yeah.
again, I appreciated that it just wasn't Wonder Woman 1984, but there was no semblance of the 80s in it. No, we got that part. I enjoyed that.
Right. Yeah.
I also so appreciated little Diana in the contest with the grown Amazons.
Oh,
That was awesome. Like
yeah.
that was probably like not for nothing, probably my favorite scene in the movie. You know, I,
Yeah.
like even when she was going through and she kind of fell behind and she caught up and it was like yank, no you don't. I was like, hey, that's not fair. But then they explained. I was like, okay, I guess it is fair.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
but
I totally agree with you there. I feel like that was one of the best, actually, the best part of the movie. I
mm,
don't know. I was trying to look up the name of the little girl who played the young Diana, but she did a really good job in
yeah,
that very first establishing opening scene, and it just made me like like it made me so excited to see the rest of the movie.
yeah.
And yeah.
But here's the thing that I really do appreciate, like all their Themyscira scenes, it's very diverse. You just don't see a bunch of white Amazons ruling the wind. No, you got the run of the gambit here. I think in the first one, Ann Wolfe, who is a professional boxer, amazing, you guys. If you don't know who she is, check her out. I was kind of hoping to see her again in this one. I didn't, but I wasn't let down because again, these Amazons, it was a diverse group, and they're like you said, like if you saw them in real life, like you think
Hmm.
twice about messing with them,
Yeah. Yeah.
it was cut.
Just like you said, the professional boxer, I was looking for a CrossFitter named Brooke Ince. I think she was
Hmm
in Justice League and she was in the first Wonder Woman. And she's like very a muscular woman, which I absolutely love. She looks like you meet her on the street, you beat her down. So I was hoping to see her in this too, but I don't think I did.
Yeah, but you know
But
what? It
I still
didn't
wish.
mess up the scene.
Yeah.
It still did good. Um, of course, we meet Kristen Wiig's Barbara Minerva. I'm gonna tell you the problem I had with this because they did that thing that I call it the she's all that complex where they call somebody ugly just by putting glasses on them and making their clothes ugly. And apparently, like wherever they live, the people there are like douchebags. They were so mean to this lady, like Mo, like seriously, I was getting mad at how mean they were being to her because it wasn't necessary. It was like, you see the girl drop the damn papers, help her pick them up. Like, it's like they were offended that she existed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, I got real passionate about that, but that was a theme in this movie that was just kind of like,
yeah, I got you. They did, like you said, the all that trope where, they put glasses on somebody and dress them up in frumpy clothing, and all of a sudden that she's not, she doesn't look good or she's not attractive. But
right.
yeah, Kristen Wiig, it's Kristen Wiig, bro.
Take the glasses off, shake the hair out. She's hot again.
Woman, like what? I don't understand. Like,
but that's what the thing was. They really went. There was like no in between with this movie. So it was like first they couldn't be bothered with her. She took her glasses off, pulled off the frumpy skirt, had some leggings, shook her hair out, and then she was the finest woman in the movie all of a sudden. And it was just like, I need y'all to do better with this shit. I know y'all had the time with this 2.5 hour movie to do that, but I'll come back to that a little bit later because I that was a big deal for me. What else did you like about the movie before we jump into the dislikes? What did you?
I love Pedro Pascal. I love him as Max Lord. I think he did a very great job in the role, which I mean he always does. He's the Mandalorian. I love that show too. But I feel like he really brought some depth to his character. I kind of felt like I understand where he was coming from at one point, but then again, he's a super villain, so I was like, yo, you can't kill everybody. But I think he did a fantastic job of playing Max Lord.
Okay. I'm not gonna run this movie all the way down, so I'm trying to get through all of the likes here, all of the likes, which jumps to Kristen Wiig's transformation into Cheetah. I liked her costume. I like what they did with Cheetah. I really liked what they did with Cheetah. The look, like I actually was like, I want to recreate that, I wanted to try to recreate that. I really enjoyed the way Cheetah looked. That's the end of the positives for me.
Cheetah look at the middle of the movie, or Cheetah look at the end of the movie?
At the end, where it was a lot of CGI, but just the way that they made her look, I appreciated the concept, and I was looking at it, thinking of ways of how can I recreate that with practical makeup.
Oh okay, all right.
So that's what I was looking at. Now, as for the CGI, I mean, I really wish they would have spent more time to try to make it, because in reality, when you look at the costume of what she is, all she is Mystique with leopard print on.
I think the only thing I can say about the Cheetah look at the end of this movie is I do believe this movie was in production around the same times as Cats was, and I'm gonna say it was better. It looked better than that. That's all. That's the positive I can say.
Wait! I gotta show you this meme, dude. There was a meme showing the final battle between Wonder Woman and Cheetah, except it was that monster from Power Rangers that wore all the gold versus was. That made me laugh so hard. Yeah. Okay, what else you got? Because literally, this is where the movie went downhill for me.
Yeah, no, go for it. I'm good.
All right, when I'm saying it went downhill for me, it was really like I was expecting a whole lot more. Like you said, Pedro Pascal, he was underused in this movie. He was severely underused. Max Lord, DC, stop making these fucking movies with these weak ass villains. Please stop.
I'm sorry. You say Max Lord was underused. Kristen Wiig, Cheetah was underused.
She was underused as well.
What?
That's a whole other thing. Look, that's a whole other thing.
If you took her out of the movie, you still would have had the movie, basically.
Yeah. And that's what I felt like they didn't focus. They needed one or the other. Because it was like they were both two supporting characters and there wasn't a full villain there. I don't care what Max Lord was doing.
Yeah, and to be honest, again, I love Pedro Pascal's performance. I think it was better
Yeah,
than probably anybody else, and maybe Chris Pine's performance was probably better than his. But
yeah,
if I would have preferred more Cheetah
yeah.
or Cheetah to be the main villain than Max Lord, to be
Yeah,
honest.
they didn't push Cheetah as far. It was almost like, oh, I hated it so bad. I'm sorry, because I'm just thinking about it. Like once she became popular and people started to notice her, it was really like she was a supporting in the background sidekick character for
Mm-hmm.
Diana until the switch flipped. She was like, "You're not getting my powers. What the fuck are you talking about?" But even that, I felt like that happened way too quickly. I really wanted Cheetah to be like she is in the comic books, specifically Barbara Minerva's Cheetah, because there's like four of them. She was
Mm-hmm.
the most ruthless, and I don't
Right.
feel we really got to see how this person who walked through life feeling unseen and unheard now getting this attention and the threat of it being taken away. I don't think we fully
Yeah.
got that, you
Yeah.
know?
I got
I
you.
mean, it I'm sorry.
Another thing that I dislike in this movie, and I'm not really sure if it's because I am a tomboy. Growing up, I didn't need no man for nothing. Now, now I got my husband, but nah. But I don't like, I grew up saying, like, I don't need a man to tell me what to do anything for me. I got this, I could do it on my own. And I felt like that's what Wonder Woman should be. I felt like Wonder Woman should be this woman who doesn't, she's able to do it all herself. Of course, she's got to have friends and everything backing her up and everything. But if for some reason those friends weren't there, I can do it on my own. And
Mhm.
I felt like in this movie, we got several instances of, like, girl, Steve Trevor is in another man's body and you don't want to let this man go. Like, you don't understand. Like, he has to literally tell you, like, let me go.
Yeah.
Like, he has to literally tell you, like, you need to let me know so you go so you can go save the world.
Mhm.
Like, how you didn't know that what was, I understand you in love, and but you Wonder Woman.
Yeah. And it was like I got that part, but at the end of the day, I feel like they really only brought Chris Pine back because he's Chris Pine. Like he could have not been in that movie. you know, there was about 30 minutes they could have shaved
No,
off of that movie just without him
no.
being there, you know.
He had to be there. Chris Pine had to be there to tell her what was right, to tell her what to do in the end.
No, because if he wasn't
That's
there,
what
she
he
wouldn't.
did.
But this because he was there. If he wasn't there, she wouldn't have. She wasn't gonna be breaking down. She leaned on him because he was there. He was a distraction, in my opinion, taking you, like you said, flying around in fireworks and stuff. Like, why even did y'all have to go to Cairo?
That's
Like, I'm.
another thing.
Why
That's
did y'all have to
another
go?
thing.
Now, let me say this: I appreciated it was Bialia. Now, I appreciated that, but why did y'all even have to go there?
No, 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 no. That whole scene from when they got that airplane to Cairo threw me off so much because, again, you get into a plane. How do you know how much fuel you have to go to Cairo? They get into a small plane, and I'm sitting here thinking that can't have enough fuel to go to Cairo, but they jump in the plane. They get in the plane. She's like, "Ooh, I did this invisible thing to a mug once, to a mug, and now you're gonna do it to a whole plane." Okay, all right, that's a little bit weird, but okay. Oh, we got to get to Cairo to stop Max Lord, but let's fly through these fireworks first. What? What?
Well, wait. Once they
And then,
get there,
hold on, I got one more thing. And when they was on the highway, they took down Max Lord. All of a sudden, she's sitting there dressed in normal clothing, and 2 seconds later, she got her Wonder Woman outfit on.
now wait, I can let that slide because Superman does it all the time. So I was just like, whatever.
He's
The thing
Superman. He's super
I was
fast.
laughing the way they had her running was like so horrible. Was like the effect that they used for her running faster than
Mhm.
everything. I hated that so much. Actually, I was laughing because it was like it was that funny flash. I was
I
like,
got you.
it was just like, okay, okay. So Skip Hop again. Why are they in Cairo? I don't think it wasn't needed. It really wasn't needed.
No.
Coming to the end of the movie, which is my major gripe. I'm gonna let you lead this part, and I'll jump in afterwards.
The end of the movie.
Yeah, like the final act of the movie.
I don't really have none. I mean, it was what it was. I mean, at this point, to be honest with you, at this point, Killer Cam, this was 2.5 hours into this movie. I kid you not. I stopped this movie several times to be like, how much longer does this have to go? So by the time I got to the end of the movie, I was like, this is what I waited 2.5 hours for.
Yeah.
Like,
so get the final act. Of course, you got Max Lord. You got Cheetah having his back because she's like, no, I got this power. I want it. I want to be an apex predator. I really wish they would. That was the key thing for me. Apex predator. I really wanted to see Cheetah wild out. So they get into their little battle or whatever. She's got on Asteria's armor, which I'll come back to later because that was a good insert. I like that. But the whole movie ends with basically Max Lord, use your heart. Use your heart. You know? And I was like.
And this fool didn't even get arrested after all this. He just went to a helicopter.
He wasn't a villain. He wasn't like, this was not a worthy villain for Wonder Woman. And it was just like, even like Cheetah Barbara reverting back to her human form. I was so pissed at that. Like, thanks a lot, guys. So how do we get her back? I wanted to see her in a future Suicide Squad or something. I wanted to see her in another movie. Stop getting some of these villains twisted. Barbara Minerva was hardcore. She killed one of the other cheetahs. You know, she
should have kept her comic book story.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure what they were thinking.
Even it did with all the other unnecessary stuff. There could have been a loophole that said, "Oh, bitch, you don't change back. You got to stay that way." You know?
This, yeah,
that just, that was a waste of a perfectly good villain to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hopefully we'll see more of it. Probably not, though. The way it ended, it doesn't really seem like. Well, it was announced today. I know we're kind of coming to the end of this review, but it was announced today that WB is going to be fast tracking a Wonder Woman 3 movie. So maybe some way, somehow, Patty Jenkins is coming back to direct and write. Maybe she can figure Cheetah in a little bit, because I feel like she deserves more than what we got in this movie. Also, Gal Gadot is coming back in the part 3. So hopefully,
I hope that with everything that happened with the Snyder Cut, I really want Warner Brothers to stop it, stop interfering, and I really want Patty. I know this is kind of DC's thing to where they're kind of operating not with the Marvel universe model, but the idea that DC universe is a multiverse, so all of these different instances of these heroes and villains are valid. You know, they don't have anything to do with each other, they're just on different worlds basically. But I do want them to start getting a little bit more cohesive, especially with tone, because I think that was the thing that was really out of place with this movie. Like, I didn't know how I was supposed to feel throughout of it. Even with Cheetah, like, listen, I'm all for the unseen person who got bullied becoming the bully. I'm all for that, you know. But I feel like we didn't get that. No. We got a little bit of it, but I feel like it didn't go full force. You know what I mean?
Like they rushed it in a 2.5 hour movie.
Yeah. You know,
you had time.
They really, with all the other unnecessary stuff, the clothes montage with Steve Trevor, I was just like, I didn't need that. Look, I didn't need that. Like, and then like there is an end credit scene, guys, which I'm just gonna say that was more exciting to me.
It was. And to be honest with you, I felt like never mind. I'm not gonna ruin it for people who want to go back and watch it.
But listen, there's a heavy, I think that's what they're probably missing. these storylines that deviate from Greek mythology, because Wonder Woman is rooted in Greek mythology. That's just basically what it is. When they're incorporating that into the story, it works. When they go off track from that, that's what tends to make it not enjoyable. Like hearing the story of Asteria, understanding that in Greek history, she is a Titan. Basically, her father was Chios and Phoebe was her mother, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But she is a Titan. So the fact that they told this story of this Titan woman fending off the men to save the Mascara or whatever, protect the Amazons, and then to come back to that, and it's Linda Carter, I was like, y'all should have just made this part of the movie. I would have appreciated that.
Right.
You know?
I totally agree with you, and that's what I was trying not to spoil it for people, but you basically said we see, Linda Carter as Asteria in the post-credit scene. But I was more excited about that than I felt like she was more Wonder Woman than, well, she was Wonder Woman, but I felt like she was more Wonder Woman than Gal Gadot, and I was like, yo, give me more of this, and maybe we will see more of that in 3. So
yeah. And maybe that's what I'm trying to get to, like those stories, that mythos that they have in place, because it's not like they have to create something new. It's all Greek history. This Wonder Woman storyline was written with this in mind. Start incorporating more of that into the main story. Or even Barbara Minerva, like her story in the comic books is rooted in magic. She got her powers from a god. Stop trying to stray and I guess, quote unquote, modernize or find a better way to fit it in, because it's not working. It's not working. Even with part one was better than this one. I appreciated it was in a world war, that was enjoyable to me. But this right here was just, and I'm not going to front. I liked the movie, but I liked it for the things that I wanted to see on screen, not necessarily the story.
Yeah.
So
I can agree with that. You asked me earlier if there was any more pros to this movie, and I did forget one pro. I'd like to really shout out Natasha Rothwell, who plays Kelly on Insecure. Girl, you go ahead, girl. Get your big movie part. I see you. Keep it coming, girl. I wish they would give her own movie. Like,
she was funny when she was like, "Girl, y'all seen Barbara Minerva?" She like. She's like, oh, she's like, you hired me. I was like, you hired me last week. I'm so sorry, y'all.
Yeah, I just wanted to shout out Natasha Rothwell. She's doing her thing right now, and I hope she continues to get parts and maybe hopefully her own movie here. So.
And she's an amazing writer too. Like,
yes, writer as well. Girl, put her on Wonder Woman 3.
Please do something. Like, not for nothing. And again, a lot of this might be because I've seen it fall on both sides. People either enjoyed it or they hated it. There's really not in between what I'm seeing here. And I think part of that is because we came into it. Well, there was so much hype around this movie, and this movie was dependent on so many different things, that I think it suffers from that just a little bit. But at the same time, there was things with this story it was just not. Yeah.
I think if they would have went into this, if they would have cut the time down, and like I said, for some of the things for me, I felt like it was like relying too much on a man. If they would have cut just those couple of things down, I probably would have just said, you know what? It doesn't make sense, but it's a fun movie.
Yeah.
I liked it. Go and watch it. But no, I still believe you should go and watch it, but make your own decision. But yeah, that's why I'm not just like, I love this movie. It was like I literally stopped it like five times to be like, how long does this movie have left?
Yeah.
I'm tired. It's Christmas Day. Like,
Blerd meter. I already know what I'm gonna score it as. You know what you're gonna score it as?
I didn't even think of that. I'm probably gonna give it a 6.
There we go. That's where I was at too. Because again, it's not. And people use the term trash loosely.
It's not trash.
It's not a trash movie. Like, not for nothing. It's not a trash. There's definitely worse movies out there. Like, I think just the thing that just held it back was really the story. The characters were underused. There was things in the story that was not needed. Like the fact that they called out Bialia and that was just the end of it. There was nothing, no mention of it. I was just like, okay, I like the Easter egg, but that was an aspect of this story you could have taken. you know, Asteria, like, give me more of her. Like, there was just ways to do this. Kristen Wiig as Cheetah worked for me.
Yeah.
And I wanted to see more of it. So,
yeah.
Pedro Pascal, I feel like he was just so underused. Max Lord, a Ponzi scheme that was the villain. This what? Well, I mean, Ponzi schemes and stuff, that was a thing in the 80s. Like, so okay.
It was. That's why I appreciated it. I appreciated the whole Ponzi thing, scheme thing, because it was the big thing in the 80s. So.
Yeah, but it was still whack. Like,
nobody in the world wished for peace. That was the thing for me. Like, nobody in the world was like, can we just stop all this?
World
like,
peace.
I wish all this craziness would stop.
Like, there was one part of where he did make me mad though, when he wished himself, sorry guys, that's why he wished himself to be the stone. I'm like, you idiot, that means they gotta kill you to get this.
But he didn't die and he didn't get arrested.
I was like,
he just went on to live his life.
It was like, you should have made that a fly ring or something. so Jerry's. It would have been a talisman. But anyway, whatever. It's not trash, but it's not the best shit I've ever seen. This is gonna sound very haterish, but I was like, Black Widow gonna be better than
It most likely will. Marvel's track record with their movies, against DC, it most likely will. We can already make that assumption.
Yeah, but I don't know. Curious of where you
get to see it.
We'll get to see it after this debacle. I know they putting that. Sorry, it's not a debacle. After this, though, they're gonna put it out. They're gonna put it out because there's a space here that was just left. But anyway, wondering how you guys feel. You see where we fall on the spectrum. Where do you fall? Did you watch the movie? Did you like it? What did you like? What did you not like? Drop down in the comments and let us know. For real, we are curious. Like, if we missed something that would make this movie better, please let me know.
Let us know. Or if you'd rather just go watch Soul instead, let us know.
I know, right?
Soul did make me cry though. But anyways,
oh,
go ahead.
Anyway, until next time, guys, we're your hosts. I'm Killer Cam.
I'm Monique.
We'll see you on the next episode of Blerd Up Reviews.
Thanks, guys.